Hello, my name is Michele, and you're listening to Profit is a Choice. Years ago, employee reviews were done yearly, and they were so very formal that most people entered with some form of fear, even those who were high performers. Why? Because you never knew how they were going to go. And the sentiment was at the time that reviews were always done in favor of the company. Listen in as I break down how to do a mid-year review well with each of your team members, why this is important, and how to balance the scales between what the company needs and what the employee needs. I'm a firm believer in taking care of our people. If we care honestly for our employees, they will care for our clients. They just will. As we dive into doing reviews of any type, whether it's a mid-year review or end-of-year review, let's do it with the focus of coaching, leading, and educating our employees so that they grow and thrive, which ultimately benefits our clients. And this focus will create a great advantage for the company as a whole. All right, let's get started. Every day, empowered entrepreneurs are taking ownership of their company financial health and enjoying the rewards of reduced stress and more creativity. With my background as a financial software developer, owner of multiple businesses in the interior design industry, educator, and speaker, I coach women in the interior design industry to increase their profits, regain ownership of their bottom line, and to have fun again in their business. Welcome to Profit is a Choice. First, when we're going to do a mid-year review, we need to have a plan. We never want to go into a formal meeting without an agenda and a plan. So let's start by just getting clear with ourselves and our team on the importance and the role of this mid-year review. Are we doing it for feedback, for educational plans? Are we doing it for merit increases, or what? Whatever you choose to cover and accomplish in these meetings, let's be upfront about it so that both sides can be prepared for the meeting. Our goal here is a win-win. If these meetings are new to you, really think about, what do you do for your yearly review? You can either do a subset of the same or choose to focus on something slightly different. I always like to look at ways to improve any behavior or process that could lead to a poor or a less than stellar yearly review. And this gives the employee time and the company, truthfully, to change direction or add in education. I believe it's also important to get feedback on how the company is doing from a team member perspective. My hope is that you're doing more of the 15 to 20 minute check-ins that we've talked about on other podcasts, monthly, so that neither you nor your employees should be shocked in this meeting. Like, there should really nothing come up that is just blindsiding if you have been in communication all along. Secondly, after you have a plan of what you're going to do and how you're going to tackle it, create questions to gather information that you might need to discuss and send it to the employee in advance so that they can give it their time and their attention. I know that I am quick thinking on my feet. I could probably give you an opinion in a minute flat, but not everybody can do that. And even when I go back later and rethink about maybe a conversation, because I'm able to think about it more quietly, often I might think, oh, wow, I wish I had said this, or I wish I had said that, or here's another example. And so I want to ask you to allow your employees time so that, if there's a deep question, nothing is sprung on them. And then, give them a chance to be able to answer thoroughly and thoughtfully. Encourage your employees to also create their own set of questions and to share them with you in advance so that you can be prepared. Here's just a subset of questions that you could ask, or that might spark an idea for other questions that you might want to ask. This is certainly not an exhaustive list. It's just a place to get you going. So here are a couple of questions. How do you feel you're doing in the job that you have? What is missing for you to do your job, or what do you think you might need to do it better? Are there any processes that are holding you back or that you think can be improved upon? How? How do you think the team is functioning as a whole? Are there areas to improve? How do you think we can serve our clients better? What are your goals in your role and in this company? What's the next thing you're hoping to learn or master in this industry, in your role, or in the firm? Where do you see opportunities for our firm that we're not currently taking? How is the communication in the firm with our clients and with each other? Do you see areas of improvement? What help do you need to improve? Thirdly, actively listen. I know that each of us form opinions of people and processes and situations, and we're made to do that, and rightly so, to gather up information and to process it and to make some sense out of it. But when you come into these meetings, I want to invite you to try to put yourself in the shoes of your employee and to see things from their position. I often liken it to watching a football game. So you may be at the football game and you're at midfield on the 50-yard line watching. Somebody else could be at the same game, but they could be in the end zone or on the opposing side at the 50-yard line. I promise you this, you may be watching the same game, but you're going to see it differently. So I want you to try to sit where your employee is sitting and invite them as appropriate to sit where you are. This is a form of active listening with empathy. It allows you to see things from their perspective. Also, remember, you have access to different information. So as an owner, a manager, a leader, there are certain things that you know that your employees don't. And your employees, they know things you don't. They know what's happening at the ground level. And so you each have a different vantage point coming into a conversation about a topic. Answer constructively. What you don't want to do is point fingers, but give examples as necessary. The more detail provided, the easier it is to see an area that needs to be enhanced. So, don't shy away from giving examples or for asking for detailed examples. Then we'll know what we need to focus on either to change or to celebrate. This isn't a time that we want to just gloss over constructive feedback. That's exactly why any areas of concern need to be noted and detailed so that active listening on each side can occur. Fourthly, create an action plan from the meeting. If goals need to be reset them. If processes are broken, create a timeline and an action item to dissect the problem and correct it. No matter what the outcome is, create a plan of attack. Share this plan with the team member and hold each other accountable to getting it done. As always, these meetings are confidential between you and the team member that you are addressing. We're holding these meetings for the betterment of the company. And sometimes you may find that there are also interpersonal issues between team members. Be careful in addressing this and take time to hear all sides before forming a final opinion. Lastly, close the communication loop. This means follow up on the items that you set in step 4 and bring them to completion, or at a minimum, let everybody know where that action item is in the process. It's not conducive to creating a healthy team if these meetings take place, action items are identified and documented, and then ignored. This breeds distrust in the workplace, and it makes everyone feel like their thoughts are ignored. This breakdown in trust leads to a breakdown in communication, and that leads to a breakdown in work. And then, of course, profits take the hit. So do what you say you're going to do and be a trustworthy leader for your team. Mid-year reviews are as much about you as the leader as they are about your team members. If lines of communication are open, you may very well learn some of your own shortcomings and areas of future improvement. Be open to this. Assuming everyone is professional and sharing, this is what you want. When we're open to identifying ways to improve, we have a growth mindset. And this mindset will allow us to change and pivot as needed for future gain. If you have done a company SWOT analysis, having a mid-year team meeting after these reviews could be really helpful to gather and look at that SWOT with new ideas and options to move forward, and then update it as needed. If you're unfamiliar with a SWOT, check out episode 118, 4 year-end steps to prepare your interior design business. This mid-year team meeting may also be a bit more formal than your normal weekly meetings. So perhaps have it off-site and do some additional planning. We'll look more at mid-year goals in our next podcast this month. But for now, take time to know your employees, keep in direct communication, Let them know they are important to you and to the business. Solicit their feedback and then do something with it. Be the leader your team needs. This takes time and it takes great intention, especially when there's a lot of work coming in like now. But time and energy spent building up those that make your business run successfully is an investment worth making. I invite you to download my 7-figure case study where we focused on making more money while taking less work and building up the people on the team. You can find it on my website at scarletthreadconsulting.com under the resources tab. Building people builds profits, and profit doesn't happen by accident. Profit is a Choice is proud to be part of the designnetwork.org, where you can discover more design media reaching creative listeners. Thanks for listening, and stay creative and business minded.